All right, so we'll say hello and welcome to the Holy Hour podcast. It's the bi-weekly All Cure podcast, and we have a wonderful episode for you guys this evening. I am joined by Chaz and our first guest of the year, Scott. Welcome back, man.
Hey, what's up, nerds? How's it going?
Hey.
What's up, Scott?
It's great to finally be in the room with you, Chaz.
Yeah, it's great to see you too. Last time, I forget what happened.
Yeah, you guys haven't been able to cross paths. We did the bootlegs one was the last one. The last
which one?
The last known Donald episode with bootlegs with Scott and Donald.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that was the last one. So
speaking of bootlegs, I might have just sent Gavin something earlier tonight.
Yeah, that's really cool. And thanks, man.
Anytime, my friend.
Very cool top era from DC too, so that one always caught my attention because I was not quite around in '84 to catch the Cure in DC, but it would have been where I would have seen them if I was just a little bit older.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool one, cool set list, and secrets. Happy the Man's on it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, good quality too. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So as we merge from that last episode, so it's seamless. That was like merging from bootlegs into, we have kind of a fun episode that was suggested to Scott on like a Facebook page at the end of last year. This is a weird way of stumbling into this episode.
It was. They were talking about opening bands, and they said, you should, next time you're on the Holy Hour, you should talk to Gavin about this. I'm like, why aren't you just sending it to Gavin? He's
like, I don't want to talk to that asshole. You talk to him. So I was like, hey, all right, yeah, that's all right. I like it when things just kind of fall in our lap, you know? So there it is. New idea. Let's do it. So here we are, opening bands. Yeah, and we figured that is a good one. That it is along those lines of how have we not addressed this or talked about this yet, you know? But yeah, kind of just going through, you know, so I guess format wise, I kind of just want to talk about the weird idea of opening acts in general. Is always kind of a mysterious thing when you go to a show anyway, and that's always fun. And then just looking at the bands that have opened for the Cure over the years, and I guess the idea that kicked it all off, that probably got it started on that social media room or whatever was the idea. One of the smaller details of all the Euro 2022 shows that everybody was like caught up in all the excitement, but there was announced that Twilight Sad is going to be opening again for the Cure. So we'll get to our official verdict on Twilight Sad and stuff as we go in order. But yeah, I guess just on the top, little interesting that they would choose them again, don't you think? I don't know. I guess if it isn't broke, just keep rolling with it.
I guess they had enough fun the first time around to do it again, you know?
Because they did like all of 2016 pretty much. Yeah. And then a lot of the like festival ones, they were part of it.
The festival. So, yeah, the Daydream Festival. So
yeah. So I mean,
and didn't they play the Meltdown Festival?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
I think Robert's a fan.
Yeah, hardcore super fan, or like he saved him choking on a chicken bone or something.
Performed the Heimlich on him.
Yeah, there's some kind of life debt thing going on or something. But,
they have pictures of something. Candy bar meltdown or something.
It's like every show we will be your opening band. Fair enough. So yeah, so we'll get into that, but yeah, it's pretty interesting that they would choose them again, but why not? So could be worse, I guess. So cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess
it could.
Maybe as we see on some of these here, I don't know where everybody stands on the opening acts. There aren't many, you know, as we look over the list throughout the years. But I guess before we even dive into the Cure, I do want to just kind of know you guys' general thoughts on opening acts. Is it something when you go to any show, is it that you make it there on time? Have they been a huge part of the concerts you've gone to in your life? What do you think, Scott? You a fan? With the idea in general?
I am a fan of the opening acts. I can count maybe on two hands the number of opening acts I've actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's for us, you know, anytime I need to go to a show, it is almost 100-mile journey to get to a show for me from where I'm at in the middle of the desert. So whenever I like there to be an opening act so I can, get there and possibly miss it, but not miss the act that I'm there to see.
Yeah.
And I've had some surprising opening acts in the past that have been really enjoyable. But for the most part, man, very few of them have been, run up to the merch booth and get their CD kind of deal.
Have any of them gone on to moderate success at all, or?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, and it's not really, I get a lot of shit for this one. So, but my wife's favorite, not this one, my wife's favorite band is Snow Patrol. So
Okay.
we go and see them every time they're around. And I mean, to the point where we've probably seen them more than just about any other band. But one day they had this little redhead guy named Ed Sheeran opening for them.
Oh, wow.
And it was the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my life. It was just him on stage with his acoustic guitar, a loop machine, and he would sit there and interact with the audience and build the song and then perform the song just a cappella. Sometimes there was one point where he put away the microphone and he just stood there on the stage and sang to everybody without a mic. And it was just about the most amazing thing I've ever seen on stage before.
Yeah.
And that was before, I mean, he was selling his debut album in a little cardboard sleeve at the merch booth and thanking everybody in person for buying it from him.
That's
so
cool.
I went out there and I bought it from him. I shook his hand. I said, man, that was amazing. And next thing I know, he's like huge, and I cannot stand his music anymore because it's no longer that it no longer has that intimate feel that it did live. I mean, now it's all overproduced and but that was probably the most surprising of all the opening bands.
That's cool. You're like, keep
Very
at
cool.
it, kid. You might make it. Keep your head up.
That's the thing too, because I mean, you go to these and here's the opening act and they're great, and you go out and you support them and you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I expected. This little kid with a couple tattoos on his arms, and he's up there doing amazing work. And next thing I know, now Snow Patrol is opening for him. On tour, and it's like, oh wow. So
that's cool. How about you, Chaz? Have you had any surprises and just your thoughts in general?
I mean, just I don't know. Like I don't usually go to concerts. More, I don't know. Like I go to more punk and hardcore shows where 5 to 7 bands will play a show. So it's like, I never really consider opening acts like that's like a weird term to me. But like if I go see, like I don't see big bands very often. So I understand the concept of having like 2 bands play a concert or maybe 3. But that's kind of like a foreign concept to me. When I go pay for music, I expect to pay $10 and get 7 bands, so.
But even with those, they're still kind of billed with like maybe 2 or locals, and then the bigger touring bands headline it and stuff, right?
For the most part, you'll have a band come in and then the local band will play, and then there'll be if the tour is 3 or 4 bands, they'll all play together, which is like that's what happens on punk and hardcore tours. You get a bunch of bands that just tour together. Usually you don't get like 1 or 2 bands, sometimes you get a cluster of bands touring together. But like I've seen some moderately successful bands like Dashboard Confessional play one of the first shows. I think that it was just the lead singer Chris Carrabba with just a guitar. And he opened for Jimmy Eat World. But that was like a 7-band show. Like there was like, they were the first band and it was just him. And then there was like all these other bands that had, and then Jimmy Eat World finished, which was cool and great. I was there to see them, but like the whole slot was filled with bands that I loved. So,
cool.
I don't know. Like I saw so many like smaller hardcore bands that went from, only a couple of people watching them to, they'll do a reunion show now where they'll sell out, 3,000, 2,000, seats, or not seats, but, venue. So, or they'll be part of a giant festival where, a couple thousand people will show up. So,
Yeah.
And Antonio would probably say the same thing if he was here, but yeah, it's cool, like being a part of that scene. And like, I know this one band, Have Heart, I saw them play a bunch of smaller shows when they were first starting, and they played a reunion show in 2019, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to go from an inside venue to an outside venue because too many people showed up, and they had to play multiple shows.
Wow.
So it was like, and then people were traveling from all over the world to come see him. My friend Josh flew out from Wisconsin to Boston to go see it. So,
Nice.
I mean, that's awesome, but like, I don't know. I've always been a big supporter of the smaller guys coming through town.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
even though we labeled them as pizza bands sometimes, where you go, you pay for the ticket and then you go get a pizza and then you come back to watch
Yeah, it is. It's funny because it is like you're saying, Scott, too. I was the same way growing up. When I would drive up to DC to see shows, it was a pretty good chance we'd get stuck in traffic or something. So it was nice having that buffer, like ideally I want to be there to see it. But if I don't, then it's like previews too. It's a lot like movie previews where I always want to see the previews, and I always just really enjoy seeing the previews. But then even when I think back of how many movies I saw or how many bands I've seen, there's like, yeah, it's usually not too many that totally blow you away.
We've got a venue that's relatively close, and it's actually 5 minutes from my work now, 5 minutes from where I work, and that place is one of the few places that it was like, oh hell, I can take my time, I can relax and get down there. And the two of the times were Depeche Mode and The Cure. So it was like, it was a great place. But there was one show that we had here in the desert, and it was a punk band, Face to Face. And we were going to see that. They're local. They're from here.
Yeah.
So we were going to go see them. And the opening band, this was back in 93. The opening band was Sublime.
So
wow. We got to see Sublime perform. And that's
so rad. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess my best and worst would be I'm always bringing up the damn Lemonheads.
Oh God, I didn't even think we were talking about worst.
Yeah, I want to say like the worst.
I'm ready.
One of my worst actually was not even the actual worst live band, was just this one that we kept seeing in DC, and people loved them. This band called Branch Manager, but it was just like they must have been like connected to the. Do you know them?
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, like people loved them though, but like fucking like they're just like kind of spazzy, almost math rocky, but not as like good maybe, but a little punky. Maybe Fugazi kind of trying that style a bit, where lots of parts to the songs, but. And it was kids, they would just kind of always pop up on the bill, we'd be like seeing our band there, like I think they wouldn't have the opener or something, they'd be like, we'll do it, so they get Branch Manager. We're like, oh god, they just go on forever, like 8-minute long songs. And especially in the 90s, I hated long songs unless it was The Cure or something, like anybody that had like long jam kind of songs or anything. But
Dave Matthews style.
Yeah. Oh, god. But I mean, going back to the idea of ones that blew up, we saw the Lemonheads in 97, and opening for them was Matchbox 20. And it was funny because like everybody was kind of like making fun of them too. We're like, these guys are total dinguses, and like, we're all just like, get off the stage kind of thing. And it was like, maybe like a month later on that tour, like they just blew up huge, and playing stadiums. I think they even like left the tour early because they're like, to hell with this, let's get to our own. But so that was pretty funny. I saw Tegan and Sarah super early on too, and that was cool. Before they've gotten kind of silly on the pop side now, but like somewhere after the first one, and then there was that real string of albums that I really liked, and just saw them like not knowing them at all going into it, and I was like, that's really good. So.
And like I don't consider, like I didn't, like looking back on it now, I guess they were an opening band, but it was No Doubt, Weezer, and the Goo Goo Dolls. I think that was the show.
No Doubt was the headliner.
I think Goo Goo Dolls were the headliner, and then it was Weezer, and then it was No Doubt. But like, I want to say Tragic Kingdom had already come out, or it was like or something like that, and I already knew who they were because they were like a ska punk band, so like kind of they were kind of on the scene, but like never really thought of them as like the opening band. They're just like so they were just a cool band on the, but like looking at historical context, like, yeah, like that's like Gwen Stefani outsells everyone, and like she was opening
Back
for two of
then-
the biggest bands of the 90s,
Back then she was
so,
amazing too, because I saw
yeah.
on the Tragic Kingdom tour, I saw No Doubt with Weezer open for him, and Garbage was the actual first opening band.
Okay.
So
yeah.
and
That might have been
one,
the tour after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, we got to find out worst opening bands. Scott, what do you got?
Oh God, so many. Honestly, because I'm looking at a list here, because I actually typed out everything I've ever seen.
Wow.
And honestly, I want to say probably the worst big name band I have ever seen open for somebody with Smashing Pumpkins. I've seen Smashing Pumpkins 3 times, and the one time I saw them open for Kiss. Don't ask. So I saw them open for Kiss, and they were horrible. It was the absolute worst I've ever seen. But the absolute worst band I've ever seen live was the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Wow.
And they were
Really
horrible, and that
Like
was in
just that-
'92.
Wow. Like were they like all heroined up and everything, or was it like they
Must have been.
Yeah. Wow.
It was
Huh.
terrible.
Just
By
Have
the
you
end
seen
of
them
the
since that point?
I will
or
not
no?
spend my money on anything Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That was it.
Yeah,
Deal breaker.
yeah. Gavin, how long did I watch that their set from Woodstock 99?
Oh geez, yeah.
Oh, I listened to that
pretty
episode.
I swear for 3 months all I did was watch Woodstock footage
Over
and like
over.
read reports, and like it was terrible. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
God.
I think the worst. Okay, I had 2, but I don't think you're gonna know who they are. One of the bands was called Free Vega, and they opened up for this band called Juliana Theory that I went to go see, and they were just terrible, and they were purposely trying to get kicked out of the venue for being as terrible as they could be. And there was only like 15 people there to begin with, so it was like on a Monday night and nobody cared. So they were just terrible. And then this band, who were kind of big in the New Jersey area, called World Inferno Friendship Society, and they were weird, kind of spastic, and they had horns when I saw them, and like they had a bunch of different people in the band, and I think they sang about vampires and stuff. Anyway, last song they start playing, and one of the guys in the band has wearing a trench coat, and he just takes it off, and he's naked, and he just runs and just stage dives onto everybody, and like
Oh
it's
God.
like so rad. It's just like it was. I mean, nobody thought it was weird, but like I don't think today you could do it, but like back then we were just like kind of fits in with everything going on. But like
sometimes that's all you got. You gotta just
Speaking of horn sections, the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, they opened for Flogging Molly. I love Flogging Molly, and they opened for him. Oh my God, it was awful.
Really?
It was just a couple years ago, way past their prime.
Oh, okay,
And
okay,
yeah. There's still the guy out there that all he does is dance,
Wow.
and it was just ridiculous. The whole show
I have
was
so much respect for him of being able to build a career on just going around a stage.
skank dancing.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got to be like really funny or something.
He doesn't even sing.
Yeah,
Like,
does he like book the shows at least or something? What is it?
He doesn't even
know,
help with the
man.
equipment, Gavin.
Yeah,
he's
the designated driver, probably. That's it.
Yeah. No, like in his contract, he cannot move all day long.
Wow. He's saving it. Wow.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because there's probably so many horrible ones that you just don't even remember. You just block them out as soon as you leave.
But they have to make an impression if they're that bad, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe there's something to that even. But my band was probably a lot of people's horrible opening experience.
In an alternate universe, you're talking about your band.
Yeah, maybe I'm talking about them now. I don't know. but I guess ideally that's the idea, is you want to go in and see some new band that'll you'll be forever diehard fan of. But it's pretty rare. It's strange that is rare.
Since you're out in the desert,
Yeah.
and like it takes a while to go see a band, has there been like do you have to have like a major band coming through? Do they have to have a supporting act that you like that's going to make you want to go see, or are you just going to skip it? Like,
Oh no, I'll go see if there's a band I want to see, I'll go see the band.
Okay.
Whether or not they've got an opening act.
Yeah.
I mean, The Cure. I've seen The Cure like 7 or 8 times, and 6 times. I don't remember. Anyway, and they rarely ever have an opening act, but by God, I'll go see them. Depeche Mode, I've seen them like 7 or 8 times, and they always have an opening act. And somehow I've always managed to see them. And man, they're not always that great. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club opened for them on the last tour. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe I'm a lot more snobbish. Like there's times where I'll see like Metallica will come through town and somebody's opening for them that I do not like, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm not going. Like I'm just like, man,
you'll miss the whole show, or just miss
I'll miss the whole entire show. I'm gonna fuck it. Like I'm not spending my money for that. Like
I'd go for the opening act and then leave when Metallica came on. So
there you go.
I just gave them as an example. I'm just saying, like, there's been so many times where I'm like, okay, it's a $60 ticket. Am I spending $60 worth of money to go see, am I getting $60 worth of music in my own mind? Mm-hmm. Especially if that opening act is garbage. Now I have to sit through that. So I don't know.
Well, there's that flip side of it. There is that flip side of it too, saying that if it is a bigger band and you really like the smaller band that's the opener, I've definitely gone to a few shows like that where I'm like out of there, like just because I want to see the opener.
There's a festival coming up this summer, and all leading up to Morrissey is the headliner, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. But Bauhaus is the one that taking the stage before him. I'm like, I've seen him. I don't need to see him again. That's fine. It's just I don't. No, I'm not going to go spend money. I'm not going to give Morrissey money.
There's a lot of good bands on that one, right? Wasn't it?
Soft Kill is on the. It's coming up. It's still coming up in a couple months. I want to see Soft Kill, but everything keeps shutting down.
I was like, if the Cure got signed on to that, I was contemplating going to that, but the Morrissey factor was like if you don't have them on that, I'm considering going.
Yeah,
you have them on that, I'm like, I can't do it. Like I can't.
It's at the Rose Bowl, and that's where I saw the Daydream Festival. And if you go and you leave before the headliner comes out, you've got an easy out, man. It is so easy to get out of that parking lot if you leave before the show's over. Yeah. But if you leave with everybody else, you're stuck. It's like the Hollywood Bowl, man. You will be stuck in that parking lot for 3 fucking hours waiting to get out. It's horrible. The Hollywood Bowl is garbage, and so is the Rose Bowl trying to get in and out, man.
Any of those bigger
few places I will never see a concert at. So
you guys make exceptions for the Cure, but it's always like
unless
it's like I'm never going to some stadium show, and it's like I'll go to see the Cure there, but otherwise
it's funny. You go to the Rose Bowl though, and there's a golf course that surrounds it, and you park on the golf course. That's their parking lot.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
I'd be taking some shits in some holes.
Nice. Hole in one. I guess the idea too of the openers for the Cure then too, it's funny because it could be, and I've said it on past episodes of like when it's a band that you're, clearly fanatical for, it doesn't really matter who the fuck's opening for them. Even if like New Order was opening for the Cure, I'd be a little like, looking at my watch maybe or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, so that's that extra pressure of like, maybe that isn't the dream gig of being the Cure's opener because everybody's just like, get off the stage, get off the stage.
There was one show I went to. It was it was called the Flashback to the Future concert, and it was one of them that was just down the street, and it was the Cure. They were the headliners, but before the Cure was Duran Duran.
Nice.
Before Duran Duran was Echo and the Bunnymen. Before that was the Violent Femmes, Psychedelic Furs. It was a phenomenal list of people, but And I was amazed at how good Duran Duran actually was, because
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but whenever they got on stage, I'm like, holy shit, these guys actually sound great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But by the time, you know, Girls on Film was going, I'm like, okay,
let's
yeah, let's get it. But it was such a long day, and my ears were so dead by the time The Cure came out, and they did their normal 2.5 hour set. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caffeine.
Just starting.
Well,
Yeah.
One of the major reasons I do not like festivals.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you just, especially if it's a good one. Like if it's a good one, like you're fucked. Like especially if the Cure, like if your favorite band's playing at the end of the festival,
Yeah. If you got like
you
all
gotta
of-
conserve yourself. And I don't know how that happens. Like 'cause
Yeah.
I'm old and fat, so
Well, I was there to see The Cure and Echo and the Bunnymen. I love Echo and the Bunnymen.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, and Echo and the Bunnymen were so early on in the day. I'm like, oh God, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah, they're brutal.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, maybe we should start shifting gears towards what the Cure have actually done with their openers over the years and the choices they've made and how that's all panned out. Because, like you said, it's odd looking at their whole list throughout the years. They've kind of been known for not really having too many openers or steering away from it. I almost wonder if he kind of has an issue with it too, or just, you know, because even back before, it makes more sense now when they're playing like the 3-hour shows, or they're just like such a huge Hall of Fame level band kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, we don't need an opener, why have one? But then when you start looking back of like, you know, we'll go through the years here real quick, and I mean, way before they were probably, you know, that big, they could have and probably should have had an opener, but they didn't, unless I'm totally missing something. It could be something they're just like scratching these bands from history or something. Every book I looked at, everything on the internet, there's just like, nope, no opener for that whole year's tour or whatever. But I guess before we dive into it, there was a very small blip of time, only really at the beginning there in 78 and 79, where they ever opened for somebody else. Well, The Cure was the opener, which makes sense, but it is kind of odd that even all the way up through like Faith, you would think somehow they would probably be like an opener for somebody. They weren't really like huge. I mean, but at the same time,
weird.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess, because of Fiction, maybe because they're kind of in their own little world. You know, Fiction kind of just seemed to really revolve around them mostly. So it kind of seemed like.
What were the
Maybe that was
size
a huge-
venues they were doing? I mean, what you know,
I
that
don't
also
know.
could
It's
matter.
always hard to get
Is
a
it
read
small
on
enough
that.
venue?
Yeah, I think just knowing like the UK venues a bit better, which I don't, you know, you would have a better idea on that. So yeah, I just assume they're like, you know, like.
They're not playing
1500?
Wembley in
Yeah,
80,
no,
you know?
not like
Yeah.
pavilions and stuff. Not until like Head on the Door, I think. So
Yeah.
at the earliest, you know. But the top,
But I mean,
is kind of a
the-
weird era. We don't really know. I think they're like bigger.
the picture show, they went around with a fucking tent and had a show
Mhm.
shows outside, didn't they?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
even shit like that, it's like what?
Like who
set
does
up
that?
a
Like
tent.
second album, like it's so weird.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
odd. But yeah, I guess backtracking to the openers, they did open for Wire in '78, which would be pretty badass to see that.
Yeah,
Generation X, also that was the infamous.
I'd
when
be
Lowell-
more stoked about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lowell pissed on Billy Idol's boot though, and the whole thing. You pissed on
Oh,
me,
Lowell.
babe. Thanks, Lowell. Jeez. And then of course the Susie and the Banshees tour there. You know, where
Yeah.
they opened for them clearly, so that'd be pretty badass to see. I'm surprised that they didn't even just have more tours together, even in the years leading up to him not being in the band anymore. You know, I mean, it seems like that would be a
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
easy
I
build.
don't
to put
think he
together.
left on the greatest of terms, though. So
Nah,
after that,
after leading up to it, where he didn't have to
It's-
actually play guitar for him, you'd think he'd be keen on being on the tour. But
it's funny because in '91, you know, there was this whole rumor because we were seeing him on that tour, and there was this whole rumor Robert Smith is supposed to be there, and I was stupid, and 17.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Oh my God, Robert Smith, and we're all at the show waiting for Robert Smith to take the stage, and we're like, you idiot.
not gonna happen. He's
No,
he's their roadie now.
Exactly. Just comes out and says thank you and
Yeah,
walks back off stage.
That's kind of like a Mount Rushmore of like band. Like you're an opening band for those three bands. Like like you're just missing the Clash off of that,
Yeah.
or the Sex Pistols,
Mhm.
to be up on there. That's pretty crazy. It's like, I don't know, like Nirvana opening in Seattle for, all these great bands, Pearl Jam, Screaming Trees, all these other bands, and
Yeah.
opening for them, and then being on top of the heap. It's very weird.
Yeah, you see like random one-offs, but yeah, of all of like that, early alternative group that we all love, all those, it is strange, man, because they all kind of hate each other. You never really know where they stand with each other or what,
Yeah.
but like, other than those early Joy Division ones with The Cure and stuff, those kind of one-offs. But it's like, how easy would that have been for them to like tour with Echo and the Bunnymen or something, But it's like,
Yeah.
never. I
Yeah.
Yeah. I
wonder
don't.
too,
Yeah.
like looking at this stuff too, and somebody a little older than us might be able to disprove this or not. But I was kind of wondering if maybe the idea of a support act wasn't as big back, especially like I think like as far as touring around with the same opening band in the U.S.
Hmm.
in like the early '80s, it might not have been like a very common thing. Like because it seems like there's a lot of scattered ones with The Cure, like where they'll play like 2 shows with them or something. But it was never like a band that just followed with them exclusively the way it is
Yeah.
now, like so I don't
I
know.
this
Yeah.
this is only a guess, and my guess is that if you're playing in England in mostly populated areas in Europe, th- you don't need another band to tour like long distances with, to share
Yeah.
costs, to share anything with. Like if you're touring in the US and you have to go, the whole
Vast.
distance of England,
Yeah, yeah.
in 3 weeks, compared to whatever they're doing. So you kind of need that camaraderie and funding and, more people to come out and everything. So that would be my best
Yeah,
guess.
that
But
makes
like,
total sense.
just because touring bands they just go together. Like it doesn't, it's weird to us thinking that they didn't have an opener for all those years. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. So yeah.
Yeah, it is odd. I wonder. So yeah, I mean, just going down their list, like we're saying, they didn't really have too many like absolute ones that like followed them for multiple shows. Early on, I guess, I'm not sure where it falls with the Susie and the Banshees comparison, but the Associates and this band called Passions from October to December did a pretty good chunk of dates with them, but they were just Fiction label mates, so
Yeah.
that makes sense that they would just put them on there too. But I was surprised there wasn't more of that still, But yeah, Passions are pretty cool too. I went back and listened to them. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They
No, not at all.
yeah,
I actually like the Associates more.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Associates I've been trying to like for so long, man. I just cannot get into old Billy's voice there. It's like very eccentric and awesome, and I'm happy, that music's out
I couldn't
there,
get
but
into the
can't.
Passions music.
Passion, I mean, they just sound like a current indie band. It's a very just kind of. It almost
Yeah.
sounds very like. I thought it was a good match with The Cure, where it all kind of sounds like Pillbox Tales, but with like female vocals. Where everything's very just post-punky guitar, real stabby guitar stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just because I was so surprised that it was like, man, I haven't actually heard them. I've seen their name on things forever, but I never actually thought that they had stuff floating around on streaming, and it's pretty good. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Both the
I'll give them a listen. I've never listened to them. I didn't do my homework. I
It's
apologize.
all right. Yeah.
You're the new Donald. It's okay.
I hate everything.
We're very used to it on this show. No way. That's why I wanted to sit out to you guys. It's like, don't feel like you have to listen to anything. We're very.
Yeah. We don't rely on anybody else
Nah.
except for ourselves.
Nah.
I'm the perfect guest.
Yes.
All right.
So then in 1980, mostly nobody toured with them, even those like shows when they first came over to the U.S. for 17 seconds, their first time in the
Yeah.
U.S. I don't think anybody was on the bill. I think they did have a couple of one-offs, the Obtainers and also the Trees, who would pop up later and Cure references. I think like Lowell produced one of their albums or something.
I like them.
So yeah, they have some cool stuff, but even those just seemed like kind of scattered dates, though. It wasn't like a touring with them kind of deal. 81. So for Faith, they didn't have anything. They had the film Carnage Visors, which is already again going into like weirder, like a film is opening for us. All right.
Yeah. I can already see myself looking at my watch. Like, come on, let's get this going.
So So that's an unusual one. And then 82 for pornography. Got a couple mixed things there. A couple of the books were saying this Airlock was another film. That Airlock that's on the bonus disc thing. It's just kind of an instrumental thing again, but that's the soundtrack to another film thing. But I never really heard much about what the hell that was all about. And then on the actual tour where all the shit imploded and they get in the fight and do all the craziness, this band Zero, like 01. I think it's spelled Zerra, and they have stuff on YouTube actually. So I looked them up.
Yeah,
01, and yeah. Some of the clips they have ones from the actual pornography tour, and they sounded a little gothier on that. Maybe I think a couple years later in like '84 they start like going full U2 route. Like the few video clips I saw, they're just totally like generic '80s band doing the '80s dance where he's doing his best U2 impersonation and stuff. But so yeah, they didn't totally blow me away. In the 10 Imaginary Years book, apparently they were on the stage during the final night when after they had the fight like a couple weeks before or whatever. They split up, then they got back together to finish the few dates or whatever, and they had to improv encore, wherever the hell his legend has it, where Robert was playing drums and Gary Biddles is saying "fuck Robert Smith," blah blah. The Cure are dead. The Cure are dead, or whatever. But apparently 01 was just dancing around on stage like a all-star jam ending. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, I somehow don't see that happening exactly. And they all covered dead flowers. It was beautiful. Just kidding. But yeah. So apparently they're on the stage while all that madness was happening. So. 84 for the Top Tour, no opener that I saw any signs of. So that's kind of the weird level of like they're playing big enough rooms, you could tell from those live things, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, why would they not just tack, especially for the U.S. dates, you know? They did a good run in the U.S., but who knows? Then Head on the Door even didn't have an opener, and that stretches into like the Standing on the Beach shows. I made note of like one, and there are exceptions, of course, to all these where they do have like one-off openers and stuff. But there was one awesome show somewhere in Greece, or in Athens, Greece, actually. It was The Clash headlining, Depeche Mode, The Cure, and then Culture Club and The Stranglers were also on it. But it was like, man, Clash, Depeche Mode, and The Cure all around 86. That'd be pretty badass one to catch, but that almost
you wouldn't get the best of the Clash, but you would.
Yeah, that's definitely like death rattle Clash by that point, right? Isn't that they're getting pretty rough by that last part there? But
wasn't that the show though that there was a riot because they had oversold the tickets, and there's actual footage of Depeche Mode and The Cure in the back of a truck huddled together as like Molotov cocktails are flying through the audience and stuff.
I don't know. Yeah,
I
sounds familiar.
It was definitely that year. I don't know if it was that show, but there was a show. I think it was in Europe where they had oversold, and people freaked the fuck out and started throwing things and all ran for their lives.
Like the South America ones too.
That's the kind of opening act I want to see.
Yeah, I mean that falls more like festival kind of lineup too. You can't
maybe it was South America. I'm thinking of
maybe that was that South
Europe,
American
but I think it was
debacle.
that year.
Maybe, yeah. Seems possible.
That's why nobody tours with The Cure. Because they're afraid, hit
crazy
by rocks.
shit like this is happening. Kissing tour again in '87. Nobody opened that I was aware of. And then we get the next like official big opener, '89 for Disintegration, is Shelley and Orphan, and so this was kind of a big. They did the European dates, I think all of them, and the U.S. ones. They brought in for the big stadium shows, Giant Stadium and Dodger Stadium. They brought in Pixies and Love and Rockets too.
God, I'm so jealous of that. Love and Rockets in their heyday. Come on, that would have been amazing.
That would have been really cool. And you wonder, like, why didn't they never grab a band of that caliber, you know, to just tour around with? But apparently, Shelley and Orphan, a lot of people hold very dear to their heart. So we gotta watch our words closely. But I never could get into them really.
Who am I going to offend?
I know.
Do we have to name
haven't
them?
we offended?
They're fucking terrible.
Yeah,
I've never heard them, so I'm gonna have to do my.
Yeah, it's.
I'm like, I don't know what it is,
And
and
I ju-
maybe it's like newer stuff that I heard, but like I tried to go back and like listen to like the time period around that
Yeah.
these bands were playing, and like
It's super
I
dated.
don't know what it
It's
is.
very like late 80s, 90s sound.
Yeah,
And you know, a lot of it's because she passed away recently, so a lot of people are just kind of heartbroken over that. And she seems super sweet. She ended up marrying, I believe, Boris. They definitely dated. I don't know if they officially married or what, but
That's
so their
right.
deal was and then kind of
Yeah.
like, and when
thanks
he
for
left,
making me feel like a piece of shit.
that's all right, man. You don't have to like the bits. I don't like them either. I mean, I'm not disgusted by it or anything, but I just can't get into it. It's just kind of like I don't know what I would even compare it to, really. Though it's very, I guess like Cocteau Twins and like early Cranberries, but not as like alternative sound. And it's very like kind of percussion-y, you know, and like almost like, you know how that early 90s British stuff was getting a
That's
little
the only
kinda...
thing. Like as soon as I hear it, I'm just like, wow, this is very, yeah, this is early '90s. Like trying to, I can't even explain the type of music.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
like you would know it
It's
as soon as you
just-
hear it. It's just that vein of like kind of
Like Belly and Biff Naked and all those.
Yeah,
types
not
of
it, maybe
bands.
earlier stuff. Even like Throwing Muses, maybe a bit more
Okay.
like without heavier guitars. Though it's all very kind of like acoustic-y
Yeah.
stuff, more almost like British hippie kind of in a sense, like not like full on.
That's a good way to explain
you
it.
know,
British
it's-
hippie-ish.
Yeah.
Yes. And not, I think the non-heavy guitar kind of definitely took away from it because I'm just like, ugh. like,
Yeah.
this is very hollow.
Yeah, because she has a cool voice,
yeah.
but it was just I wasn't really digging the songs and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, she hit it off with Boris there, and even after he left, after Wish, they formed a band together, Baba Car, which I listened to some stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Super
yeah.
into them, but so yeah, they were pretty tight with the Cure, I think,
Yeah.
through the whole thing. One of their bassists took over with those shows for Simon when he left at the end of the Wish tour and stuff. So they hung in there and we're on the whole Prayer tour. So that's pretty cool.
I don't know the exact date or venues or anything, but I know that Book of Love opened for the Cure at least at some point, just because one of the members of the band works for Trader Joe's with us, so
yeah, so she
like
can
I heard the
confirm
whole.
it.
I would have to I'd have to ask to figure out time and place if the drugs and everything haven't ruined any timelines anywhere. So, but
was it like a
yeah.
one-off or was it?
Yeah, it
couple
wasn't a
dates?
tour thing. It was like, we're friends with them, kind of. Let's play, but it wasn't like a long-term thing. So, but
Right on.
yeah, I want to say it's around that time frame, like around 89.
Yeah, that makes
late
sense.
80s.
I think
So, but yeah,
in that vein.
but yeah,
too.
I was really upset missing the Pixies and the Cure like a couple years ago when they played in Los Angeles.
Was that the
but like
Pasadena?
this-
They played on that,
Yeah.
right? The Pixies. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that 89 show, like that's a time machine kind of.
Oh yeah.
Like I wish I could go back and see that.
It's like
So,
Doolittle era, isn't it? I'm not a huge
Oh, ye-
Pixies fan, but
I
that's
fucking love
Doolittle.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the best of the Pixies kind of
Yes.
era right there.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cool. So yeah, Shelby and Orphan, not our cup of tea, but many love it. So send all hate mail
Sorry.
to Chaz directly.
Don't throw anything at me. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
not heard
I have
them.
no-
I'm going to listen to them,
No
and I'm
comment, no
sure I
comment.
will absolutely love them. So
Yes. Kind of the same vein in 92.
Edit this part out, Gavin.
Okay.
Hold on, edit this part out. Edit this part out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of in the same vein. In 1992, for the Wish tour, the Cranes opened up, and again,
oh boy, didn't they?
a lot of people love the Cranes, but
I am not one of those people.
Me neither. I could never get them to stick. I tried so hard all these years.
I need to know why you guys aren't a fan.
I think I could pinpoint it. What about you?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Her voice just
Yes.
kills me. Yeah,
100%.
it's like- and
It's
I'm
too
not.
big.
I'm not
$80.
crazy then.
Okay.
I'm not crazy then. That's
No.
the one thing. I fucking love the music.
Yeah, the music's great. It's like
I could listen to that music without her voice all day, every day.
Yeah.
yeah.
she sings from the back of her throat, like it's like I don't know what it is, and like I've listened to it so many times, I'm like I'm trying to reconstruct it in my mind, and I don't know how it comes out.
It's like a baby doll singing with something caught in her throat. It just doesn't,
Yeah,
with echo,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't work. For me, it just,
It's like shoegaze without all the shoegaze.
Goodness.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little baby singing over shoegaze or something, but it's like I couldn't get into it. Yeah.
No, I tried because, I mean, that was 1992, so that was June 1992, July 1992 at Rose Bowl. That was my wife's very first concert that I took her to. You know, we go there and we're all excited to see The Cure, and we're like, oh, I've heard of Dinosaur. I worked in a music store. I knew Dinosaur Jr. Oh, here's the Cranes. What are they all about? Ugh.
Yeah.
Bad from the start, like it wasn't different live.
Music was great, and then she started singing, and it just didn't work. And the Dinosaur Jr. were fine. I mean, they were Dinosaur Jr. They do what they do. They were good.
Side note there, that's awesome. You got to see Dinosaur Jr. with them. Yeah, we didn't have, because I think they only did a couple dates in California. There, I think were the only ones they did for that. But.
Yeah, we had a giant ass earthquake that night after the end of the show, because it was at the Rose Bowl, and it's a 2-hour drive to get back home. Drop off Julie at her house, drive home to my place, because we were just dating at the time, and laid down about 1 a.m, and I sleep 3 a.m. The Landers quake hit and like flattens half of the desert. It was insane. I had a waterbed. It actually launched me out of my waterbed. It was so hard the way it hit. So forever, I will know the date of that concert, and it is forever seared into my mind.
And it was pretty much confirmed that the Cure playing caused the earthquake, right?
Had to have.
I'm pretty sure it was Jay Mascis, with his fucking guitar wailing out. Like that's
and his whiskey bottle.
It was between Green Mind and Where You Been, which is like my favorite era of.
Yeah, that
mean, Where You Been is my favorite album of theirs, but. Yeah, that's God. I'm so
came
jealous
out and did Just Like Heaven, and I'm like,
I'd
never heard their version of Just Like Heaven. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is this?
That's great. So they did play it. That's great.
Oh yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I've always wondered an example of that, of like an opening band covering the band they're opening for.
It was pretty cool.
Never really happened.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's cool.
It's very embarrassing.
Yeah, it's weird. You can pull it off.
In this instance, though, in this instance, it was really good.
I'm surprised more don't or like play like even a deep cut of the opening, like get the crowd pumped up. They're all there for it. It's like funny, like if you just played like some obscure song of the band you're opening for, that would be.
The place exploded, man, and it was middle of the day. It's 98 degrees outside. And we're all melting. We had 13th row seats. We were right there in front of the stage, and it's just like. What is this? This is cool. It was crazy, but everybody.
Well, I was gonna say that cover came out in '89, so they had a good enough amount of time for it to it wasn't new,
right?
So yeah, they probably already been playing it live for years at that point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So they played it every time I've seen them. So. Like one of my favorite.
It's crazy that it's still
parts
in
of the
set,
shows. So
apparently. Yeah, they'll close out the show with it. Still, it sounds like that's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess we're all agreement on the Cranes, though. So that's.
I see. I was coming here thinking that I was going to be the odd man out, and like thinking that both of you guys loved them, and I'm like. The music is so good. Like I absolutely love the music. It's just that voice. I can't do it.
Yeah. Jules didn't like either of them. She didn't like the Cranes or Dinosaur Jr. But whenever the Cure came out, blew her mind. But for her, just the whole memory of that opening act, of both opening acts, she's like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's how I just always blame the Cranes, because it was like first time seeing the Cure too, and I was just like. Epitome of the situation. I'm like, just get off the stage, lady.
Yeah.
I was just like, just stop. You're the only thing standing between me and the Cure.
I can't imagine seeing Dinosaur Jr. in a venue that like
massive.
That big. Just because every time I've seen them, it's been like in a smaller, and it's just so fucking loud.
Oh yeah.
that like earplugs don't even do the job.
I didn't even think to bring earplugs back then. So I that's why I have such hearing loss. I blame the Cure for my hearing loss.
96 for the Swing Tour. This is kind of when they kicked in full, like, to me anyway, but I guess they had been doing no opener for a while. But I was surprised. I was like, yeah, they're just so big now, they don't need an opener for Swing Tour. Definitely no, but the sets start getting really long around then too. So no one there, no one for the Dream Tour in 2000. Side note again of scattered dates here and there where they did have some people in Europe and stuff, but and then not till they overcompensate in 2004 with the Curiosa. Let's bring a whole fucking festival on the road with us, let alone. So yeah, we had Mogwai, Rapture, and Interpol were the main stage ones, and of course, we did the whole episode on all the other side stages and everything else, but I guess those were the only main stage ones, were Mogwai, Rapture, and Interpol.
Yeah.
When I saw him with Echo and the Bunnymen, Duran Duran, that was 2003. So right in between there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I went mainly for the second stage.
Yeah.
Because I was a fan. I'm still a fan. I had a friend that was really into Head Automatica. I really like Cursive and Thursday. And I had a friend that was really into Muse and Mogwai. And then I had listened to Interpol a few times. I had downloaded some of their albums and tried to get into them, and I saw them. Thought they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember the Rapture though.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Like I saw that on the list and I'm like, I don't fucking remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember them either that much. I was definitely down for Mogwai and Interpol. I liked a lot. And Cursive, like you said.
Cursive is good, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a huge Muse fan.
Yeah.
Even to this day, it's a little too over the top. And
they were better back then, I thought, as a smaller band. They seemed to handle it a little bit. I mean, it's such just big arena rock now kind of thing, where it's just such a big...
Every song is...
Yeah.
Totally. It's my buddy Kevin. It's his favorite band in the world, and he won't listen to this, but he puts them on all the time. And just, Jesus, fuck, just turn it down, please. Can we listen to something else?
It's very big.
Oh God.
Yes. So yeah, it's strange that this definitely seemed like that's always been kind of my slight gripes with the 2004 era in general, is that all this seemed a little, if the Cure's ever gonna have a moment where they seemed like they're reaching a bit more to like please like a younger audience or something, it always seemed like this might be the most guilty of that, where like at this point they're like, yeah, let's bring in all these other current hip bands, as opposed to them even doing a traveling festival show with other, because they don't do many ones like you were saying with Duran Duran and Echo and stuff, like there are a lot of bands that's all they do is like Psychedelic Furs and Blondie will tour together, and like do the whole thing. But so you wonder why they didn't grab a few just older bands too. They were all just these younger cool bands, so I think they work out of wanting to get that younger demographic at that point, maybe.
Well, 2004, wasn't that the time of the self-titled?
Yeah. So Ross Robinson.
They were doing some reaching there.
Yeah, new label, so everything was.
We don't want to talk about that.
No.
I
can't blame them.
I take it a little bit of a different way, Gavin. I take it as them
mentoring.
I don't know, just because the way he's been over the past for a while now is very inviting to younger bands, very inviting to people that have been influenced by him. If that means that fucking, what was it, the Icon show?
Yeah.
With, if that was part of it, and like actually listening to these covers and all the things that he got over the pandemic that he said he wanted to say yes to, even though they were crazy.
Yeah.
I think he admires all that, and I think that's part of why they did part of this. But also I think it was like, hey, this is like, we need to get younger fans in here. We need to get let's tap into another, the next younger people, and
I think like you're saying, they're all ones that he legit likes and stuff. He wasn't faking it or anything, but at the same time it's
I fully believe that. I fully believe that he's into mentoring new upcoming bands that actually have some kind of that they've influenced. You can see the influences in their music, and
like the Meltdown Festival that was part of it, and like some even Twilight Sad coming on tour with them again. So I think there's something to it. So
moving on, there's a weirder one here. How do you guys feel about 65 days of? I don't know where I got to.
They made that big of an impression on you.
26
you were
days
reading
of
it. You were reading it.
I still got, in 2007 and 2008, 65 Days of Static did tour with them for the 4 tour, which is 413 basically.
I didn't go to that show.
I went, but strangely looking at it too, like the Charlotte show was like one of few that they didn't have an opener at all. So I totally lucked out in my opinion. But at the same time, I don't know. I wasn't familiar with 65 Days of Static at all, but I was kind of glad now checking them out that I did miss it, but not bad.
This is what I remember of 65 Days of Static. Showing up to the Spectrum with my wife, and it was the first time she was ever there, and like it's like Philadelphia sports icon heaven. So like I'm showing her around and like all the stuff they have set up, and she's feigning interest and everything. And then we go to sit down, and we can't see the stage because we're past the point of we're off to the side, and my wife. So she got pissed, and she's like, I'll be right back, while 65 Days of Static was playing. And then she's like, come with me. And I was like, okay. So we got tickets that were like straight back so we could see the stage, but it was like on the second level, but they were 1,000 times better than what we had. That was 65 Days of Static. By the time we made it there, they were done.
So there's the other unofficial role of the opening band is that you can find a better spot while while they're playing.
You get your soda, you get your
you get that
your $13 soda with a fucking paper straw that I had to pay for.
Get that last piss out of the way, and then get a new seat. So but they're very like, I mean, it's mostly instrumental, if not all, like kind of it's very like video game music or something. I don't know, the few clips I listened to, it was like not in like an 8-bit cool way, but like it was
Mario
like
Brothers.
That's
exactly where my head went, Chaz.
No, it's just very like like, and just I don't know, it was a little too over dramatic,
like God of War or some like kind of
where it's just like if I'm gonna listen to like instrumental shit, I want it to be like just weird and atmospheric or something,
Godspeed You Black Emperor or something like that.
So I don't need to rock out, but so that was on the bill, I guess. As we lead up to 2016, we get the first appearance by Twilight Sad, who oddly enough, I had like a couple of their albums. I think leading up, they hadn't like put anything new out at that time. I think they said even that they were even considering breaking up or something. They were just done. It wasn't really going where they wanted it to. And then Robert's
like, wait, no.
Robert saved them.
So they've been touring with them ever since. And it's a kind of cool story, I guess, that he was just a big fan. He did that cover on the 45 there, on the single there. And there's a girl in the corner, and I think that was right before the tour, if I'm remembering correctly. And they're a cool band. I'm definitely down with them. I feel like I have to be in the mood for them. I can't just throw them on all the time, but I think they're cool and they're a good match for the Cure. I'm pretty on board. Where do you guys fall on the Twilight Sad?
I've tried. I mean, I keep trying. I've downloaded a couple of their albums, and I keep trying to listen to it. And it seems like the farther into the album I get, the better I like them. But I just. How about you, Chaz?
Being so diplomatic, it's good.
When they got announced for the shows in 2016, I went and downloaded everything that they had and was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy the entire show. So, and then like me, I didn't listen to any of it until,
the day
a
before.
week before the
Yeah.
concert and tried to jam in as much as I could, and I enjoyed it. It's not bad, but just like Gavin said, like it's not all the time.
Yeah.
But they could have done worse. I mean, I think that's one of their better picks. Going over this list, it's probably is their best pick. Besides the 2004 Curiosa, if you want to count that.
Yeah.
As a band going on tour with them, and I don't hate them. Like they're going if they went to the United States now, I wouldn't care. But I'd want somebody else. But I'd like the fact that they're still pretty relatively unknown band, and I want to know what their sales did after they got announced for that 2016 tour.
Yeah.
Like their record sales.
I'm sure.
I imagine what that bump was like.
Yeah.
So
pretty nice.
Yeah. Good for them.
They were at the Daydream Festival. I did not. It was so fucking hot that day. We've gotten to the point now where we don't go to a bunch of shows a year anymore. So we will pick like 1 or 2 concerts that we will spend more money for better seats to go to. And at the Daydream Festival, we paid for the VIP tickets, which gave us access to air conditioning.
Ooh,
So-
very nice.
So while everybody else was roasting on the golf course, because it wasn't actually in the Rose Bowl, it was on the golf course outside.
Oh,
While
shitting in
everybody
the
was
holes
out
and everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. While everybody was roasting to the Twilight Sad, we went to the air conditioning and waited for the Pixies to come out. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
If you gave me a choice between being very hot and seeing Twilight Sad, or sitting in air conditioning and playing on my phone, I'm probably going to sit in air conditioning on my phone.
what I chose. Yeah. I mean, the other bands that were there. Have you guys ever heard Chelsea Wolf?
I've just heard the name, but I don't know.
No,
enough to
but
know.
my phone sounds better with air conditioning.
Than Chelsea Wolf. It's a tough
Chelsea
one to
Wolf
beat.
is actually really good.
Cool.
She's really kind of dark and got very acoustic, very
Oh,
mellow.
she. Okay, I thought it was a band.
No. It's
Okay.
a she. She's really good though. Throwing Muses was there. Mogwai, Deftones were there. They were okay. But the Pixies and the Cure were like the Pixies, the
big
Cure,
ones.
and Chelsea Wolf were the ones to see at that show. So
I think you list 2 bands that would have come out of the air conditioning to go see.
Pixies and the Cure.
The Cure and the Pixies are pretty much about it. I mean,
Yeah.
the Deftones are okay.
No, not really.
I have a couple friends that are bonkers about them. I'm like, meh,
Yeah.
all right.
I mean,
So I would
I-
see them, but that's about it.
yeah,
No.
they played that one song, that
Yeah.
was on the radio.
Yeah.
I don't
12
even
years
know
ago,
that song.
15 years ago. And
I know that White Pony album, and that's about it.
it was
so.
on that one.
Yeah.
It was
Okay,
from that
okay,
album. So
okay.
there we go.
Well,
Yeah.
we nailed it.
There we go.
We covered the Deftones for this episode.
Yeah,
Let's
there
move
you
on.
go.
This has been the All Deftones episode.
My silence will say everything for my opinion on Deftones too.
Probably
You guys
smarter
got
that way.
you got it covered too. But
Scott will never again be on this episode. Everybody that loves the Deftones, just Gavin's gonna ban me.
no.
We have a very wide Deftones demographic.
Yeah. I couldn't name you one song, so
That Venn diagram is right on top of each other.
Even the one that Robert remixed or whatever. I don't know.
Jesus
Christ. Even that couldn't win me, but yeah, like Twilight Sad, I'd actually like to see them in a smaller club. I think they'd be really cool, super loud in a small room to really absorb, all the, emotion and everything. They're almost in a big stadium. I was kind of when I saw them, it was nice to just sit there in my row 20 seat or whatever. I was like, yeah, they're cool, but it would be cool to just get full dank with them, and small little venue would be cool, I think. But because they have a few those songs that are just really fucking good, and then the deep cuts are just kind of all right. Yeah.
I will have to have you send me names of songs that you recommend.
Yeah, maybe
I have not heard any, and I'm sorry for those fans out there, but I've not heard a song by them that makes me say, "Hey, I want to listen to Twilight Sad."
Yeah, no, there's a
everybody.
couple that are really. What about there's a Girl in the Corner one? Just knowing it from the Robert cover. Have you heard that one much? where he
Nope.
did the cover of it.
I'm shaking my head. I'm used to being on a video podcast.
Yeah.
I need to speak. Sorry. No, I don't know that one. I'm sorry.
That was a really cool song. So it's
Okay.
I'll make you at least a best of EP, and I can send it over to you.
Just to make him a list of songs, just be as vague as possible, though.
Yeah.
Like it's
this guy here, Gavin. When I'm down with COVID last week, I get a package in the mail, and it was a care package from Gavin with full of Star Wars stuff and pop rocks. This guy is so cool.
Nah.
You're a good guy, Gavin. And then you let me come on your podcast. How cool is that? Come on now.
You gotta talk non-cure, right? It's you're a good sport for being on this episode. Thank you. But so yeah, I don't know. Even as much as I like Twilight Sad, though, the idea of them being on the tour again, I kind of would like to see somebody different. But given the history of the bands, I'm not that crazy about. I'm like, yeah, or just stick with Twilight Sad.
Maybe this will be what makes me a fan.
Yeah,
maybe seeing
exactly.
them
You'll
for the
get
Cure is what'll do it for me.
That fifth time on the show. Yeah. So.
Let's do a hypothetical that when they come to the U.S., who do you want coming with them? Who do you want on the tour with them that fits with them?
Wolf Alice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Wolf Alice. If you've not heard the new album Blue Weekend, it is the best album I've heard in like 5 years. It is phenomenal from start to finish. Yeah. So I would totally be down with Wolf Alice opening for him.
Yeah, it's a realistic one.
What about you, Gavin?
I was gonna get a little cheesy, but I think it would be great if he brought Darcy Rama, Pearl and Janet's kid that's putting out music now. So it's his nephew Darcy, and you could even do the double up and have Eden's band on there too. Have like the children. I mean, it's a little too crossover family reunion kind of thing, but at the same time, I would love to see those bands opening for them.
What about that Lowell's Sons band?
Yeah, them too. Topographies,
Topography.
The Cure family.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I like that idea.
That would be cool. I don't know.
Yeah. I think, I mean, as much as it sounds like we're gushing too much over that, I would love to see Soft Kill get a shot at it, or even Alien Boy. I've been really into them lately.
Yeah.
They're on that tour with Soft Kill coming up soon.
And Topography.
And I've just been like, whoa, these guys are really fucking good. Like, they're so weird and like cute and like kind of, I don't know. It's just like, it's very charming. And I'm like, oh my God, I listened to them the other day and I was like, man, that'd be so cool if they were on tour with The Cure, because we were talking about openers. And I was just like, man, they would work so well. Like, they're so cute and like, it would be so great. So, but yeah.
So what about the slightly like going back in time but still keeping it realistic of like which bands, Love and Rockets was doable and stuff, but like which ones would you have liked to seen maybe 89-ish, 92, like some band? Like I'll go first, maybe Jesus and Mary Chain would have been awesome since he's
I saw them, man. They were great.
Oh, yeah, they're on my like wish of bands I've never got to see that I would love to see.
They opened for the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, wow, yeah. That was probably part of the problem. Was like, that's a tough act to follow.
Seriously. Well, I say it was Lollapalooza too. So I mean, it was Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Temple of the Dog.
I was like, that's a weird tour. Jesus and Mary Chain opening for.
But Jesus and Mary Chain, man, they were
Yeah, that would be a cool one back in the day, or even now. But I mean, I guess they're so big they wouldn't need the tour with The Cure, but at the same time, why not? Yeah. What about you guys? Is there a semi-realistic?
I don't know. Like I'm just like I don't understand why it's kind of like we talked about like the movie soundtrack thing, like where they just didn't do it. Like I don't understand why they didn't tour with like Big Country. Like I know I've been big on them lately, but like it's like it didn't make any sense that like they didn't tour with like some of these bands that like just kind of go hand in hand. But I don't know. I had this dream that they toured with the Sundays, but I was just out of left field with that one.
Would have been better than the Cranes.
I'll just put that one out there. Yeah, I think that's maybe in a world I was living in a world where they toured with the Sundays instead of the Cranes.
Replaced them in your memory.
So,
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Or even like early Sugar Cubes would be badass. Like back on like that first album.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she was like a little mini Robert Smith anyway in those early days. So that would be cool.
For me, it would have been like, we're talking 89 to 90. We're talking Love and Rockets in their heyday, or Echo and the Bunnymen before Ian's voice got because Ian's voice, when we saw him in 2003, was great. And I'm like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. We saw him like 4 or 5 times after that, and it's just, dude, you need to put away the cigarettes and take a lozenge, and it's not as, but back then, man, oh my God, that would have been amazing.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Right in the time of like Songs to Learn and Sing was out, that would have been amazing.
Or even when he was doing his solo stuff, since it would have been like a little, like a good
stereo.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would have been amazing.
So, even
what about the Dead Milkman?
Whoa, yeah. Why not?
Okay, first off, it's Jan and Dean. It's not the Beach Boys song.
Be entertaining.
Punk rock girl.
It would be entertaining. I would love it. That would be great.
Yeah.
Because even
how about James? Have you ever heard the band James? They would have been fun. I don't know. Talk about a bit of a mix though, because The Cure's a little wilder than James. Yeah, but that would have been interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be down. They definitely have some great songs, and or even like Psychedelic Furs, because they've got enough crossover. Like, I mean, they're big enough where they wouldn't need to, but I could see it just being like a cool pairing. Like one of those tours. So
yeah.
Let's say you get Soundgarden on like their was it Ultra Mega OK or whatever that album was, like one of their first big EP that came out in like 89 or something. That would have been the Melvins or something.
That would have been cool.
Like before grunge started.
Or even Placebo.
They fit. They really do fit in with them.
Placebo.
I'm surprised they didn't tour. Like, I'm surprised they didn't, like, with how big the crossover section of the fan base is. Like that was kind of weird.
Or even
I mean, my dream gig would be like seeing a couple nights in a row of Depeche Mode and The Cure like sharing the stage, but they'd just kill each other and it wouldn't go well.
Yeah.
They both want the attention too much. It wouldn't go well.
Yeah, mine would be New Order in them, and they would just be a disaster.
New Order would be like, you stole our song.
Yeah.
Robert Smith would be like, but we made it better.
It's like, it's like, you don't have to hang out. Just, you both are playing on the same night. Just do it for us. Come on.
That's right.
But yes, I mean, it's crazy, and I don't know what the answer is. Maybe it is better that they're kind, and usually they just don't even have an opener, or they keep it short. That's a good thing about Twilight Sad too, is like they usually, that's 2 shows I saw with them, they're like super short sets, not like ridiculously short, but I think it was like barely a half hour or something. They just kind of did what they needed to do, and everybody's like, cool, yeah, that's awesome. Leave you wanting more is a huge part of the opening act. I think that's always the biggest pitfall for any opener. That could be like, I'm always like ready to buy an opening band's like album and their shirt and shit, like 2 songs in. I'm like, yes, this is great, my new favorite band. And then it like starts going on like an hour-long set or something. I'm like, what the hell, man? It's like, let's wrap this up, man.
Can I get a refund for the shirt and the CD?
Yeah, I was like, never mind. I think I'll just get a beer instead. So,
Joy Division.
Yeah, it did have a little mini section of that, I guess. Joy Division 79 at the Marquee, and again, a later one that nobody ever really talks about. There was a later show in June of 79 at the
Odeon in Canterbury.
And actually Jesus and Mary Chain did open for them in Greece as a one-off, and probably somewhere else throughout the years, but that would have been a cool touring one. But so I don't know, I guess we'll wrap up there then, if you guys have any other further thoughts. Opening acts.
No, I remember Twilight Sad at Merriweather, that I wanted them to keep playing longer just for the sun to go down further, because it was like poking through and hitting me in the eyes, and I'm like, I don't want to see The Cure right now with the sun like shining in my eyeballs right now. So I was like, please play at least like 2 more songs, and they got through it, and then The Cure didn't come out until the sun had officially gone down, so that was good. But
That is good.
yeah,
Those summer festivals. That was the same way for us. And that was kind of like where I couldn't really get into. I mean, I was on board with Twilight Sad and enjoyed it, but at the same time, it was like kind of like a daylight stadium seat. You know, I was just like, would be so much better in like a dank little club. But
Well, wait a minute, Gavin. I mean, didn't you go to Austin City Limits?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like Billie Eilish?
Oh yeah, I guess if we
So
count all
there you
those
go,
over
man.
yeah, totally.
we have to go through every festival they ever
every one of
played.
them.
Yeah, that's what I put it. But for me, it was because I went like full throttle front. I was like, I gotta be all through Billie Eilish's set to watch The Cure. So she basically was the opening act in my little world because I just started it the evening there, you know, and yeah, again, that was like probably all my hatred is really just directed towards that of being like, get off the stage, open your eyes and get off the stage.
She was singing to you, man.
She's
She was
like,
singing to your soul.
I'm like, get off the stage.
Let's be honest, Gavin. The Cure was the actual opening band for you that night, and Billie Eilish was the headliner
Totally.
in your heart.
It would be now, probably if the roles were reversed, then they probably would be opening for her.
Isn't that sad?
I know. Yeah, going full circle to our openers becoming bigger than the main act. She probably would have them beat. The Cure never got to host Saturday Night Live. So.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Twilight Sad on this because I will see this upcoming tour. But I don't know, man. The name alone, can't we get a better name than Twilight Sad? You're trying way too hard right now.
Sad is in our name.
The Daylight Happy.
Exactly. I mean,
Yes.
God.
Yeah, that's a little very over dramatic, but I guess you can't
Really
really
is.
hold that against the Cure opener too. So who knows? But yeah, so we'll see. And I guess there's no guarantee that they would be opening in the U.S. Since all we know so far are the European dates. So there, maybe our dreams all will come true. And
Come on, Wolf Alice.
yeah.
I don't know. Like I think that we've made so many friends and acquaintances over doing this podcast and social media and everything that, like, I don't know. An opening band kind of seems like a waste of time of like hanging out with other people now.
True. Yeah, it'd be kind of
True.
just more time that we could all hang out pre-gaming before it, you know. So-
Absolutely. Like we had so much fun at the meetup for the Hall of Fame. The Cure opened for Def Leppard that night, so they always have that on their
Oh my
books.
They do take the some of the credit as one of the absolute worst bands I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
They're not as bad as Red Hot Chili Peppers, but Def Leppard was pretty
Pretty bad.
We definitely do have to give them a hand.
Ooh.
opening for the Cure opening for Def Leppard.
Yeah. But yeah, I think, and like, yeah, I think that if any opening band this time around, like, I'm probably not, if like, I assume Gavin and I will be hanging out at that point in time, like, I'd rather be hanging out with him and Scott, if you're there too, than seeing any opening band right now. So yeah. So
yeah, it's a good thing with a lot of Cure shows too, is that we'll probably have not been able to get like the general admission tickets, so we'll have some seat anyway that we can't lose our seat. so we can hang out until the last second. You know, it's cool. We don't have to stand in the crowd for 15 hours before. So who knows? But it's just the tip of the iceberg in anticipation of 2023 tour. It's gonna be.
Will there be an album? Will there not be an album?
I hope it's out by that fucking point.
Hey,
you never know.
Reeves just dropped that stupid thing on was it
Facebook.
NME or what?
Yeah.
Who like favorite upcoming albums of 2022? And
that was on
commented
Facebook.
The Cure. Yeah, I don't know what company, like what organization put that out. Like what?
I think it was NME.
Yeah.
Was it NME?
I think so.
Yeah. So I was just like, woo.
Yeah, whenever he said The Cure, I said, and mine was very, not too snotty, but I'm like, Yeah, fingers crossed. Me too.
Hey, if
And then-
Reeves
and-
said it,
Yeah,
and
it's,
Reeves-
it's gospel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Reeves liked my comment. I'm like, okay, I know that's your wife, or that's
Yeah.
somebody working for you. It's not really Reeves.
It still
but
counts.
I'm gonna hang my hat on that.
At least they want it out too, so that's good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I really do think that's what the big rift with him and Simon was. I think he's like, I need money. Can we put out an album?
Yeah.
I mean, things been. They've got
Could've
so
been.
much music. They're like, it's like Prince. You know, he's got this vault where all this music lives,
Yeah.
and that's what I think the Cure. Robert Smith has some underground chamber filled with bats and stalagmites and stalactites, and there's music in there that we will never hear.
Yeah, just random album.
Until sadly he passes away and
Yeah.
somebody raids that vault and we get it all
Yeah,
in installments. Like didn't Prince just come out with a new album like this last year?
yeah, like
there's been-
3.
yeah, there's been a
We're
bunch.
gonna get all the Cure albums we always wanted, but sadly it's gonna be after he's gone.
Yeah.
And it's just like we're gonna have Cure music from now into eternity.
And a lot of them is shit that already came out. Yeah, like there's like a huge vault. There's a vault of shit that's already even come out that we want again. You know, like in Orange, we want all this stuff. You know, it's like it's like just put Wish deluxe version out, man.
Oh shit! It's 30 years. I can't believe it's 30 years since Wish came out.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that
the other
just
big
makes
one
me
this
feel
year.
old, man.
I think that's like a bingo card thing we talk about every episode. is
Yeah.
that-
check.
Where's
check.
the Wish remaster?
Wish releases, album and tour? We did it. All right, guys. We can-
Yeah.
Cool.
Did we make fun of Lol yet?
Not
Oh,
yet.
we're
Yes,
gonna go
yes,
Lol.
we did earlier
Yeah.
when he was pissing on the booth.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, Lord.
Ruining the tour there. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We hope you enjoy our review of the opening acts for The Cure for from the start till now, and who knows where it'll lead. But feel free to chime in on Facebook or elsewhere of what you think of the openers and how they've done it over
All the
years.
ones we missed.
Yeah, there's probably tons that we haven't even come across. So
And how wrong we are on the ones we talked about.
yes. So, thank you so much, Scott, for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hey.
Thank you, Scott. Really appreciate it.
Nice to finally be in a room with you, sort of, Chaz.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. We'll catch you guys next time. Talk hard.
Keep it nerdy.
Yeah.
There's a girl in the corner, and she's crying for you.
All right. Again, thank you, Chaz, and special thanks to Scott Kroger for joining us. Always love talking to that guy. If you need more Scott talk in your life, which we all do, check out his podcast, the Sarlacc Digest. It's an all Star Wars podcast, and as nerdy as that gets, it's very welcoming to every level Star Wars fan. So no matter where you are in the galaxy, I recommend checking it out. It's a blast. You can watch it live on YouTube Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So they're on the West Coast. Currently, they are following each episode of Book of Boba Fett, hot off the presses as it comes out that night, and give you the full review and every little detail, and will make you think of the episode in a whole different light. If that's not enough time to watch it without spoilers, you can always catch the replay or older episodes there on YouTube or everywhere that you stream podcast if you want to just go back to the old-fashioned audio way. Scott is also an amazing artist, so you should check out his Instagram account. It's under The Art of Scott Solo, and he's got some great work up there, so I highly recommend giving that a look over on Instagram. And of course, he's also a faithful patroneer, which isn't a real word, but it sounds way cooler than patron, which basically just means he's a member of our Holy Hour Patreon family. So I highly recommend you also go over to patreon.com/the Holy Hour Podcast and see if that's something you'd be interested in and would like to be a part of, because we have all these other cool members over there, and you could be part of the team. You could be part of the team with TV's Donna and action star Craig and local funny man Jeff Hilton and Academy Award-winning actor Jeff Cortland Jones. Chef Suzanne is over there. Instagram influencer Ben. The Honorable Judge John, reality show celebrity Allison, and 4-time Golden Cup winner Alan, and of course MTV Award nominee Dione. I don't believe any of those titles are actually accurate, but it'd be cool if they were. Also, Kate is part of the team over there. She is a 6-time winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, actually. And in her free time, she runs CureThreads.com. And that is where you want to go if you want originally designed Cure-inspired products. And they are currently featuring the first ever guest artist on CureThreads.com. And it's Alexander, who you, if you are on Instagram, are most likely already following and liking everything he posts if you are a Cure fan, which I'm assuming you are. He is an amazing artist and goes by the handle of Star, Bird, and Moon, and has created a beautifully designed black and white inked tribute to the late, great Andy Anderson that will be available in prints, in tees, and mugs, and stickers, and more, all to honor Andy on what would have been his 71st birthday tomorrow, actually, January 31st. So check this out and many more wonderful products at CureThreads.com. Regional astrophysicist Matt, who we hope to also have back on the show this year soon, would like to spread the word on the importance of donating blood. The Red Cross Blood Donor app is free and easy way to schedule an appointment to give your blood and send it to those in need. So don't be a blood hoarder. Share the love, give the blood. And if you're not down with the Red Cross or using the app, that's fine too. Just contact your local blood bank or hospital, and they should be able to steer you in the right direction. Donating is the bottom line, so get out there and help. Lisa wants to shout out Dickens, a pub/venue in Calgary, Canada, that normally hosts a wide range of live shows and events. Fortunately, the doors are still shut for COVID, but fear not, they're still booking wonderful acts coming up in the spring and summer. Electric Six is actually playing there in April. So go to dickensyyc.com to check out the schedule, and you'll be all set for when the doors open back up and the action's ready to continue. Until then, keep your eyes peeled on Twitch because live DJ streams are happening still. And that's Dickens YYC on Twitch. I caught one the other week and it was a blast. I was having the ultimate crappy week and day and drinking alone in the evening, feeling sorry for myself, and got word from Kate actually that Dickens was doing a live stream. So I jumped over there and I had a blast. There was wonderful remixes being played of all kinds of our favorite tunes, and it included Lullaby, Pictures of You, and A Night Like This even. So it was really fun. The hours just flew by. I looked down at my phone again and I was like, whoa, it's already late-ish. So a great way to pass the time, and everybody seems super sweet in the chat portion there. So I highly recommend it. Go over to Dickens YYC on Twitch. Hopefully catch them soon again. And of course, your hip new youth pastor, Charles Murphy, would also like you to know that he's offering up affordable and cool as hell Cure t-shirts still at 17 Second Shirts. 17secondshirts.bigcartel.com is the actual website you want to go to so you can pre-order these designs. It's the only place you're going to find them. I believe he has a Pornography is the Cure shirt still up and a super rad in orange one that he just posted. So hopefully those are still up for pre-order by the time you're hearing this. So don't waste any time. Go over there, 17 Second Shirts, and get that Cure shirt you always wanted. 17_seconds is his Instagram. That will also be where you want to keep tabs on. All right, I think that's it for now, guys. Thanks so much for sticking with us. And again, a giant thank you to Chaz and Scott and all our Patreon crew. I recommend you go listen to some of those old opening act bands again, see if they hit the spot for you, and start your daydreaming of seeing The Cure live again. It's going to happen this year. So keep your eyes peeled, and on the next week's episode, might be coming a little earlier than bi-weekly, as a clue. I believe it is going to blow your Love Cat socks right off your little feet. And I believe we will be going in territory the Holy Hour has never dreamed possible. Yes, it is that epic. Trust me, my friends. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll leave it at that. And hope to see you then. Talk hard, my friends.